I can't hear anything from my ears ringing anyway. So.
I know, same half the time.
Are you warm enough? Cool.
I am. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Mike, you warm enough?
I am.
Sweetness.
Right now.
My cars are always full of clothes. You should have seen me going to Virginia. My truck was packed. So.
Got it?
Yeah.
And now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright and so on. It's a rigorous training dished on who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the award-winning #1 podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF1 accreditation. On this week's show, joining us here in the studio, we have Kelsey Briggs, a 4-star, 3-day event rider and trainer. She's going to discuss a lot of stuff that she missed on last time she was here and some new stuff that she's got going on in her life and then with her horses as well. And we'll get to her in just one sec, but over my far right side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing okay.
Just okay, Mike.
Doing okay.
Just
doing
okay. Well, good. I have some news for all of our listeners out there. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. We do this every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town we like to call Marshville. And we do the video podcast, and then we have a whole bunch of platforms that we stream on. So like iHeartRadio, iTunes, Amazon, and there's all the main ones are out there. What I want to get into real quick, and we'll get to the show here in just one sec. All our listeners over on Spotify, unfortunately, Spotify has flagged the show as being way too cool.
Too wild and out of control.
Yes, we're way too cool. So if you're, we're trying to work that out over at Spotify. So if you're searching for us over on Spotify, we're not there right now. There might be some reminiscent shows over there that you can listen to and get caught up if you need your equine dynamics fix. But right now, all the new shows are just going to be on all the other major platforms outside of Spotify. So there you go. Just a little update so you guys know that we're still around and we're still kicking it. So Mike, what have you been up to?
I've been shoeing horses, believe it or not.
All right, got the shoeing horses part out of the way.
And ended up running a little late for Kelsey yesterday afternoon.
Okay,
but,
why? What happened?
Well, for some reason, one horse needed to run around the farm I was working on earlier a couple of times.
Oh, you had to go home, though.
Situation. No, the farm I was working on, someone needs to learn to close gates. I didn't say that. Because they always close gates, right? But I've been sent some X-rays. We're doing a couple of consults. I will be tomorrow chatting with a vet and farrier.
We got a case study or something that you got going on?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've sent some X-rays and some that they're apparently having some difficulty with, and the owner contacted me and would like to get some input. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Well, good. So you got a full plate ahead of you.
Always.
What about this weather, Mike? Are you staying warm enough out there?
I am. I'm cranking up the forge and burning plenty of propane.
I had to go run down to the Main Street feed store here and grab some more hay and stuff because that grass out front is not coming in. Well, of course, everything slows down in the wintertime. So we're doing hay. And here's the thing that I didn't know is right down the road from the studio here, there's a gentleman that we used to buy round bales from. And he's got this huge, at least 60 by 80 barn, and I might be exaggerating by that big metal building. And we used to buy round bales for him because he had cows and stuff. So he'd do round bales for the cows, and he'd get round bales like Timothy or Orchard or something. I don't know. That might be the same thing. and alfalfa. Well, he's been doing construction down there, and it's less than 500 yards down the road from us. And he just posted on Facebook the other day, and it's this fence row. I forget what the whole title is. I know I should be better prepared for this, but I'm not. But he's got horse food. He's got small animal food. He's got large animal food. He's got square barrels and all the stuff for our horses. So instead of me doing an hour and a half round trip to go down the Main Street.
Well, don't you want to visit fine people at Main Street.
I love the people at Main Street, but it's an hour and a half out of my day, which is an hour and a half.
You haven't got much of a life anyway. So,
no, just me and you, Mike. And once this show goes off the air on Monday afternoon, I basically just sit in a dark corner until next Monday. So
yeah.
But it's good news for us, and it's Fence Row. I'm going to look it up, and I'll have the answer when we come back. But I'm excited. My wife's excited about it because he's literally, like I said, 500 yards. I could drive my tractor down there,
right?
Pick up something and then bring it back. That's how close he is.
You could drive your tractor to Main Street. It'd just take you a while.
It'll be an hour and a half to get there and then an hour and a half to get back. But I'm all about saving time, gas, and if his prices are a little bit higher, the round trip I think would be, it'd be beneficial for us to go over there. So we're going to check him out, and I'll give you a report next week on that.
Okay.
So when we come back, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to bring back on the air. So if you're not over on YouTube, jump on over there right now. Search Equine Dynamics over on YouTube, and we're going to bring in Kelsey Briggs. She's here in the studio with us, and this is her second time in the studio, and she's going to join us here when we come back and want to hear all her stories and everything. She's got a lot of stories. She's a good one. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. There we go. I'll fix it 5 more times.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Kelsey, you ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Got no choice, right?
I was going to say, I'm doing it now.
You're already locked into the chair. There's no escaping now.
No turning back now.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you could join the podcast. You can actually be part of the show. Join the podcast. Go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says Join the Podcast. Click that little tab. Opens up another screen on your device, wherever you're listening to us on or at. And it'll say, leave a message for Mike Stine. Your voice can be heard right alongside of us here in the studio. Like I said, we broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A little town called Marshville. Population 2,500. Yeehaw.
It is the happening place.
It is. And your voice can be heard, and you can ask Mike Stine a question or anything. You can ask any questions of the last 14 seasons of shows that we've had, that we've been doing here for the last 4 years. So ask a question, ask away, and your voice can be heard. And over to my far hand side, my very own response is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing okay, Travis. How are you doing?
Doing well. And joining us live here in the studio, jump on over to YouTube right now. You can see her smiling face on the screen here.
Right.
We have Kelsey Briggs, who is a 4-star, 3-day event rider and trainer. So welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to the show, Miss Kelsey.
Thank you for having me. I can't believe y'all want to hear me talk again. I was just here.
We got a lot of feedback on you.
Well, it's Pirate. Everybody loves Pirate.
But, you know, we know that.
So so what have you been up to? Last time you were here, you were talking and telling us stories about Pirate and how I'm going to say he, right?
He.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. All right, so he did all this great stuff, and now just recently you're coming back from somewhere. Tell us what's been going on with you since the last time we talked to you.
Yeah, so Pirate's protege, Moonster, my up-and-coming younger event horse. He just got back from the Virginia International 2-Star. It was his first FEI run. He was awesome. He moved up to intermediate earlier in October. It was great. He was third in his first intermediate. And then now he just ran this big 2-Star up in Virginia. And he was fantastic. I mean, jumped out of his skin. He was really fast on cross country, jumped beautifully, great dressage scores. It was just a really, really good start to the FEI levels.
Now, explain to me, you're a 3-star event rider, and you say that you were riding in a 2-star. Are you riding a 2-star because of the horse that you're on or because of you?
Yes. So
okay.
Pirate and I ran up to the 4-star level. And Moonster is younger. He's up and coming. He's new to this. I mean, he's experienced enough. He's doing the upper levels, right? But these are the first of the upper levels. So the way the levels run, it's like of the recognized eventing levels. It's starter, beginner, novice, training, modified, preliminary, intermediate, and advanced.
Did you get all that, Mike?
Yes.
And there are a few new levels in there from when I first started eventing
they have
a long time ago. They've
a few.
They've added a lot. But anyway, the top levels are prelim, intermediate, and advanced.
And I've talked to people sometimes that want to get into it, eventing, and don't know anything about it apparently, but Oh, since I'm starting, I want to start off at training level because I'll be in the training. I always find that amusing.
Start at starter, or there's even like lower than that that's unrecognized.
Right.
But anyway, but at the upper levels, preliminary, intermediate, and advanced. So Little Moon just moved up to intermediate. Pirate used to run advanced. He's obviously now 22. So he spent yesterday playing at Cane Creek and splashing in the lake and galloping around out there and meeting fans. but Pirate in his day ran 4-star level. So Moonster ran his first 2-star a couple weeks ago.
And how'd he do? How'd he do?
Brilliant. We finished just outside the top 10. We just missed the top off-track thoroughbred award, and that was on me. We came into a combination in show jumping, and it just kind of froze. I needed to send him into that combination a little. I just kind of sat there, and we had the rail there, and that knocked us out of being the top thoroughbred in the 2-star. But as it was, he was third, and he was less than a point out of the reserve champion thoroughbred. And they were I think
had
10
a
or
good
12.
run of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So he was very competitive, finished just outside the top 10, and I just thought that was a great way to get his FEI career started.
So how long does he have to ride in the 2-star before he qualifies for 3 stars?
So he got everything he needed out of this. So this is his qualifier. So in order to run a 3-star, you have to complete a 2-star without cross-country jump penalties, and you're only allowed to have a certain dressage score and so many rails, but he got his qualifier out of this. So you qualify for a 3-star at the intermediate level. Intermediate level is a national level. The FEI levels are the star levels, and those are your international ones, right? So he has to run a certain number of intermediate level horse trials, national horse trials, clear, good dressage, all that.
Before he goes to a 3-star.
Yeah, and then we have to do a couple of 3-star shorts, and the 3-star shorts are run in a similar format to just a national horse trial. They're kind of the same thing. They're just stricter about a lot of things with the vets and the judges and all. And then you get enough of those, and you can do the 3-star long. And so what he just ran was a 2-star long, and the long format means a longer cross country. It's always a lot harder.
Yeah.
And then there are jogs, which the jogs they're formal. They're called the horse inspections, right? And so this international team of judges and vets are ensuring that your horse is sound and fit to compete, look happy and healthy. And so they're all done up and pretty for the jogs, and we get all dressed up too. It's real fun. but the events are held over a longer period of time. That's where 3-day eventing came from. The classic sport used to have more on cross country day. There's roads and tracks and steeplechase and all this stuff. We don't have that anymore, but the cross country is longer, and there are vet checks and stuff that just doesn't exist in the national horse trials.
So in reality, you really haven't been doing a whole lot since you've been on the show last time.
No.
Just moved Little Moon up to intermediate, did an international thing, no big deal.
Hanging out in the barn, sitting on a bale of hay. And
And I got a couple new horses in for training. I've got some more coming this winter. I've got a lot to play with this winter. So I'm going to be fox hunting and bringing up the youngsters. It'll be really fun.
All right. Well, when we come back, because you want to talk about producing young horses. So you have young horses coming into your stables now. So when we come back, we're going to dive into that and what a OTTB is. I have a question about what that is. It sounds like a new hamburger at my favorite joint. So
new model car.
we'll get one of those on the way out. So hold on one sec. Stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Like riding a bike, right back in it. Here we go. I'm good at talking.
Well, you kind of do that part of your job.
I guess so. People pay me to talk at them. So actually, people pay me to yell at them across the arena.
Correct them. But when Mike and I were invited to a dinner at this place that had
galloping without horses.
That's what I used to do when I was a kid. That's how I learned my dressage test.
Well, that's
what they were doing.
They were holding bits in their hands. And I know there's some kind of skill and something behind it, but they were holding bits in their hand and galloping, and they were what she was trying to show how the bit feels in your hand compared to what the horse is feeling in the mouth. And if you do this with your hand and do this with your hand, that's what the horse is feeling and how the bit sits and stuff. So it was interesting. Once someone told me that, I go, all right, well that makes sense. I'm not going to.
But it's not really a fair comparison unless the bit is in your mouth. Really, I would say. So I don't know.
I don't know how far they would go on that one.
Although I will say, my students, if they leave a bit dirty, because I'm really OCD about cleaning the bits after we finish riding, because you don't want the horse to put a bit with like crusted up stuff in it. So if my students don't clean the bits,
make them put it in their mouth.
Put that in your mouth then, and they have to stand there with that. I'm like, do you want that in your mouth? No. So next time, clean the bit better.
You actually make them physically put it in their mouth?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good deal. I like it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not having that. It's not like I'm a neat freak. You've seen my car. You know, I keep my barn tidy enough, but I'm not a neat freak. But I'm really good about cleaning my tack and cleaning the bits. That is it. That's why I have bridles that last me 30 some years, and you know, I gotta take good care of the leather.
Yeah,
I'll take good care of you.
Pay a couple $100 for them. They're not disposable.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Make sure you follow him over on Facebook. Just search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine. He's got 2 different pages. He had a personal page at one time, and it maxed out at like 5,000 people, and then so he had to create a business page. And that allows a little bit more. So if you want to go over there,
Like the business page.
Yeah,
you'll see pretty much everything.
Yep, like the business page. That's Equine Dynamics Mike Stine. He posts a lot of different graphs, a lot of different sketches, a lot of different.
I'm good at forwarding other people's stuff.
But the thing is, Mike, you've got to do the research and claim if this is valid or not. So if you put it on your Facebook page, you're basically saying, hey, as a farrier, as a professional farrier, this is valuable information that you need to know.
About posting Travis's chili recipe.
No, that's top secret.
Top secret.
Top secret, baby. That's award-winning chili there.
It's very good chili.
And as you listen over there, over my far right side, that is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you? And how are you today, Kelsey?
I'm real good, thanks.
And joining us here,
We've not talked for a long time.
And joining us here in the studio is Kelsey Briggs, a 4-star 3-day event writer and trainer. So make sure you follow Mike Stine over on Facebook. Give him a little like and thumbs up. So Kelsey, you were saying that you've got new horses, baby horses. How old are these horses coming into your club? What is it? Class, stable, routine, barn, back door, neighbor?
Yes,
I don't know.
Program. We'll just call it program. Yeah.
Okay. So to your program, you got new horses coming in. So how old are these horses? Let's start there.
So I have a 3-year-old in the barn right now that he initially came to me to get him going. He had just had maybe 30 days under saddle. And so I was getting him going. Now his owner is taking over some of that. But I'm obviously a part of it. And so he's in the barn, and that's really exciting. I have another one out of Virginia. He just came down with me from the last event that I was running with Moon.
Pretty solid looking fella.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a big old Irish horse. I usually just ride the thoroughbreds off the track, but he's a really cool Irish horse.
Is he fighting with everyone when he gets drunk?
No, he's a big softie. Bless his heart. I think he's kind of bottom of the totem pole here.
Okay.
But anyway, he's 8, so he's still a young horse, but he's not a baby. He's just kind of here to figure out what he wants to do with his life.
Now, you said he was 3 years old. Is that and only 6 months under saddle? So is that okay for you?
There's a 3-year-old in the barn that was only like 30 days under saddle, and so a lot of what I do is start the babies. Actually, that's my preference. I like to get them as babies and do everything from the ground up. Like I got my first yearling when I was 13, and brought him along, and I've started a lot of baby horses. They say breaking babies, but I hate using that term. So
right. You don't want to break them.
Yeah, I know, right? They'll say backing. That's another term.
Right.
Backing them. Basically, it just means starting them, like getting them used to the saddle, the bridle. I have a 7-year-old in my barn that I bought as a yearling, and he's kind of my baby. I love him. He's still my baby. But I love starting them under saddle. When I lived in Virginia, I was backing the yearlings at a thoroughbred breeding farm, which I don't start them as yearlings myself, but in the racing world, that's when they start them.
Yeah, the long yearlings, and they're ready to rock and roll.
So I was starting the yearlings up there for Morgansford for a little bit when I was living in Virginia. But a lot of times what people do is send me their baby horses, usually a 3-year-old. Sometimes they're 2.5. That's up to the owners. I'm not going to push them too hard when they're babies, but sometimes when they're really young, you're just getting them used to saddle, bridle, and having somebody sit on their back. And you'll see the cowboys out there starting them, and they're bucking and everything's going crazy, but there should not be fireworks like that if you're doing it right. All of mine, I just sit up on their back and everything's fine. It's just the next thing. Honestly, I think one of the weirdest things to them is they're not used to somebody being taller than them all of a sudden. So I just do a lot of sitting up on the fence with them being a lot taller than they are.
Right.
And then by the time I'm just like throwing my leg around them and sitting on their back, it's just not a big deal because you've gotten them used to it along the way. So yeah, I do a lot that's starting the babies. That's my favorite. I prefer to just do it from scratch, but sometimes they'll come to me and they'll have been lightly started. They'll, just the basics. And sometimes I'm undoing somebody else's mistakes and sometimes they're fine. Mm-hmm. But this particular 3-year-old was well started. He had 30 days under saddle and he was fine. But now the 8-year-old Irish horse that just came down, he's already had whole life before me, but we're just kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do next.
Now you
He
got
wants to eat.
you were talking about retraining. What's retraining in the OTTB? What does OTTB mean to me?
That's a hamburger.
Extra lettuce, please.
So OTTB stands for off the track thoroughbred.
Okay.
That's what I've done most with Pirate, off the track thoroughbred, Moonster, off the track thoroughbred. And I've put a whole bunch in between there.
Okay, I understand the words in that order, but I don't know what that means as referring to a horse. Off the track thoroughbred. That, for me, a horse runs on the track, I bring it off, all of a sudden now it's an off the track thoroughbred because it's not running on the track. What does that term actually mean to someone who's hearing it for the first time?
Exactly what you just said.
Okay.
So this is a horse that's been running on the racetrack.
And now he's off the track.
And now they're off the track and they're going to go and do something else.
Okay, so they're not running anymore.
They're not racehorses anymore.
Okay.
Yet. And they're generally sold specifically to not go run races. Like the owners are like, this horse is not going to be sold to be raced. You're going to, go and do something else with it.
Right.
And so I've done a lot of that. I started doing that when I was a teenager. I got Pirate as a teenager.
Right.
I just turned 18 when I got Pirate, but I had gotten one before him when I was 17. So I started the off-track thoroughbred thing,
Right.
20 years ago at this point, I guess.
I have people that say they would never own an off the tracker.
What
Because
fools?
they fall apart. They won't last. They won't.
No.
Look at Pirate. Look. Oh, you want to take another good Comet?
Yeah.
Comet
yeah.
was an off the tracker.
Well,
Teddy was an off the tracker.
So many of them are. The thing is, too, if a horse is a war horse, meaning a horse that's run a ton on the racetrack, has a lot of races under their belt, and that horse is still sound, that tells you that's a horse that's going to stay sound, that's going to stand up to it.
Right.
It's, there's always going to be something that can happen.
Sure.
Horses can break down.
That can happen with your horse out in the field. And it does.
Ask me how I know. Yeah. Well, I haven't had them break down that way, but I've certainly had them break themselves that way. They get hurt
Yeah,
that way.
I've seen more than one that something silly in the field happened, and that was it for them.
But you can surely break them down doing dressage or doing hunters or anything, right? So that can happen, and there are certainly trainers at the racetrack that just run their horses into the ground. So that can happen.
There's
but
some good ones.
There there can be problems with breeding the horses. They can be not necessarily bred to be sound. There are certain bloodlines that don't hold soundness as well.
You want to avoid them when you're hunting.
So that all exists. But honestly, I know I'll make people mad saying this, but I'll stand by it till I die. But you are a fool if you think you shouldn't have a horse off the track just based on the fact it's off the track. Because I have had some that the quietest horses, calmest horses I've had, some of them have been off the track. And I've had some wild old quarter horses in training with me too. So I just think you have to look at a horse as an individual, not their breed and, their history to an extent. But the people out there, no OTTBs. Well, you just look like a fool to me.
Are they cheap? Are they cheaper if you get an OTTB? Like,
Often,
this it's like buying buying a new rent-a-car. It's already been a rent-a-car for a long time, and now they're selling, we got to get rid of this rent-a-car.
Because we know what's been done.
Yeah, we know this is a couple crashes and stuff.
That's your best diamond in the rough right there.
Okay.
Is a horse off the track, because these are incredible athletes with so much heart, so much potential. And you're going to pay a fraction of what you pay to import some big warm blood from Europe. And nothing against them, And I think this cool Irish horse in the barn with me, I think he was imported from Ireland. So it's nothing against that. That's all fine.
No,
but you're just paying a lot more for that. And you're going to get a horse off the track way cheaper. Pirate was $600. And this horse has made every dream I have ever had come true. And Moonster was off the track, was free. And then for me, we had my clients that I was supposed to be selling him for, we traded out. So, they owed me some old training fees, and we just caught it good on Moonster. So it didn't really cost me any money out of pocket. So I got one for $600 and one for nothing.
Well, other than your time.
Well,
your time and effort.
But I'm saying I didn't have to.
You didn't lay out a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. So, here, as I said, Pirate makes every dream I have ever had come true.
Right.
And then Moonster is keeping those dreams alive. So I'm not a one-hit wonder.
Right.
And, I didn't have to go and pay thousands of dollars to import a horse from Europe, some warm blood, and that's fine. There's nothing against
now part of the 3-day eventing isn't it running like a timed run?
Yeah, so cross country is timed.
So here's my it's a two-part question. So it is a timed run. So when you're saying you get these OTTBs off the track, they're already, hey, this horse will never run track again. But yet in the sense, isn't part of the 3-day eventing part running?
That's huge. That's why for a long time the thoroughbreds dominated the sport. Now there used to be more of an emphasis on the gallop because the long format had roads and tracks, which, so this is a test of endurance, right?
Right.
And then steeplechase, which they're galloping over like a lot faster than we even run on cross country over these brush fences, right? And so speed was everything. And so a lot of that has been taken out, and it's just the cross country phase, which is still a lot of galloping and jumping, but it is more suited to the warm bloods than the sport used to be, the classic 3-day eventing, right? But yeah, there's definitely still a place for a horse with a good
hard
gallop.
to keep enough air going in and out of those bigger bodied horses at speed.
Yeah, and obviously it's possible. There are plenty of them that are really successful at the top levels of eventing the way it looks now. But I mean, I'm just a thoroughbred girl at the end of the day. I mean, my first pony was a little Arabian pony. I think I like the hotter horses anyway, but I've had some lovely warm bloods that I've ridden. And like I said, I really like this new Irish horse that's in. I mean, I'm not against any other breeds. I'm just kind of a thoroughbred girl at heart.
What's the Irish horse's name?
Lance.
Lance.
Yeah. So I don't own him. He's in training with me. He's really cool. And then Dandy, the 3-year-old I was talking about, he's called a Georgian Grand. So there's a lot of different breeds going on there, but he's not a thoroughbred, so I'm not saying I only ride thoroughbreds by any means. I just, that's what I've been successful with, the horses I've owned.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to dive into how the horses should be kept up in the upper level competition stages of their lives. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. How horses should be kept, be they upper level competitors. I guess Mike was doing voice to mail or something like this, or trail horses. How upper levels, how horses should be kept, I guess.
Yeah, well, I guess I never really got into producing the young horses. We kind of talked about.
If you want to touch on it.
Yeah, I was going to say
How do you transition from young horses to being kept? Let's do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do that. Okay. I think that makes sense.
Mike, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Kelsey, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you don't want to go on the air with him, that's okay. You can email him at any time. Go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says, contact us. Fill out that little form and email your question over to Mike Stine. Make sure you put a physical return address, and we'll send you out some swag, some stickers and stuff. I've got some stuff in the mail, Mike. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet.
Ooh, what a surprise.
Some Thanksgiving stuff. I got
some of your favorite hot sauce.
No, I hate their hot sauce over there. But we got some Thanksgiving stuff coming in. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but you will get it. All you have to do is to find out to get it is get on that list right now. Go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contact us. Ask us a question. You can ask us over the 14 seasons of shows we have. Any questions, or if you have new questions you want for Mike to answer, we'll answer those on the air and send you out some stuff. And over to my far end side, my very own answer man is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing well. And joining us live here in the studio, jump on over to YouTube right now. Search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine over on YouTube. We have Kelsey Briggs in the studio, a 4-star 3-day event rider and trainer, and so much more. Kelsey, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you for having me back.
Are you comfortable over there? Are you warm enough over there?
I don't mind this cold that we've got coming in. Everybody's all worried about it, but I don't mind it. I think there's no bad weather, just bad attire. So.
And if you're out there and you want to join us here in the studio and you want to talk to us, that's fine. You can reach out to Mike Stine over on equinedynamics.com as well. So Kelsey, you were talking about producing young horses and starting from babies and retraining the OTTBs.
Yeah.
Now, from there, how do you maintain it? Do you have a schedule, or what do how is your approach on all that?
Well, I think you really just have to listen to each horse, treat them all as an individual. I don't have a program that I'm set, this is exactly how long we do this is what we do. I get a feel for them, right? And what they want to do. And I think that's huge anyway. That's something to talk about in a bit too, is to figure out, it's our responsibility, I feel like, to figure out what they want to do with their lives and not try and cram them into some discipline that they're not interested in.
That's one place where at times I get in headbutting things with certain situations because, well, we want to do this at this time.
Yeah,
and I'm dealing with my end of the horse, and it's like you're over pushing them.
Yeah, no, well, so I think it's pretty vital that you listen to the horses. And so as I'm bringing up a young horse, I'm basically just trying to get out there and expose them to everything, right? They're going out trail riding, they're hacking. The baby horses are not in the ring much. They're pretty much just out in the field and learning how to balance their bodies on the hills. And even the same thing with the thoroughbreds coming to me off the track as I'm retraining them. It's just getting them out in the open, in the fields, on the hills, in the woods, playing, really having fun. I'm not one to cram the horses in the ring to do a ton in there. You have to do some, of course. But I try and stay out of the ring as much as I can. And then so on a youngster, it's, they're learning how to use their bodies. They're learning to think forward. A lot of horses come to me and they're a bit stuck, a little behind the leg, just mentally a little stuck. And I just think you just got to get them out in the open, soften your hand, let them run up a hill, let them balance themselves. Don't try and micromanage them and do too much for them, right? Let them figure it out. And then kind of figure out which way they want to go with their lives. I'm really lucky that these beloved horses of mine, that Pirate and Moonster, have wanted to play the same game I do, and they love it. But I had a really nice horse called Villain that I was his gallop girl when I was riding the race horses up in Virginia. And we have ended up to intermediate level, which is a really high level. He's a really talented horse.
Right.
But somewhere along there, I figured out that he didn't want to do that anymore. He just didn't have, it seemed like he was doing it out of kind of just being a good boy and obedience.
He didn't have that spark in him.
He was doing it out of obedience more than truly a love for the sport. And I figured he really just loves dressage. So we went that route with him for a bit, and so you have to figure out what they want to do with their lives and really listen to them and have enough respect for them that you honor that instead of trying to force them into doing what it is that you want to do. So the early days for me for retraining them or just producing them from the ground up is letting them see everything to figure out what it is they want to do. So fox hunting is involved in that. And
that's the question I was going to ask you, because your background is the 3-day eventing. So when you have a horse, I'd automatically go, okay, this horse, I'm going to make this horse a 3-day eventing horse, but you don't do that. You train them in, I don't want to say all disciplines, but you're just like, all right, this horse, because of the shape of the horse, because of the breed of the horse, this horse right here, this style of horse would be great for a hunter jumper, or this style of horse would be great for a dressage. I mean, is that what you're doing? You kind of put them in their own little pods as far as...
It's not so much based on their breed or the way they're put together. I mean, there's a certain extent, they can be limited in the way that they're put together somewhat, in terms of athleticism, or certain breeds are maybe not going to go into a certain discipline.
Some of
very
it's
high
mindset
level.
of the horse.
But I was going to say, there's a little bit of that, but I would say most of it is where their heart is, right? Where their mind is, what they want to do. I get on them and I'm trying to figure out what it is they feel like they want to do, what they're going to enjoy, what's going to suit them. So I'm not going in with a set idea based on the breed of the horse or the way they look or are put together. I mean, I've had horses that don't look like they're put together well and end up being super athletic jumpers.
Right.
So you can't even just base it on conformation, apart from where it might make them physically a little weaker.
But what if I was to come to you with a horse and say, look, this is my style of riding. Make this horse fit my style of riding. And you go...
Well, that's a lot of what gets sent to me, right? So I can figure that. I mean, if somebody comes to me with a big draft horse, pure draft, and they say this horse I want to run advanced level eventing. Okay, maybe we can have that conversation, or this might not be what he's built to do, right? But you take that out of equation. You're just basically athletic horse comes to me and this person says I want to event, or I want to do the hunters or whatever. I'm still going to ride that horse in a way that lets me figure out if the horse is suited to that. Yes, you can start introducing them to things. I'm sure there's going to be things that they're okay, Pirate didn't like the dressage as much. He didn't hate it, but we didn't.
It's do I have to?
He didn't love the dressage the way Villain did.
Hold on, there's a difference between hating it and or not being able to do it, because some horses physically can't get that motion right for dressage. And I'm only speaking for dressage from my end, because that's what my wife does, and I know how much she dedicates all her time and all that to just how she's sitting on the horse and how the horse moves. If a horse doesn't want to do it, you can't. I mean, physically can't make it do it.
You can do dressage is just the most basic moving forward into the contact and being soft in the jaw. Dressage at some level is achievable for any horse.
Okay.
I guess a gaited horse may not be able to do all the clear gaits of it, like walk, trot, canter. If this is a gaited horse, it may struggle. It may try and, a Tennessee Walker is going to struggle to have
that's
a
not
clear
going to be
3-beat canter. So you take stuff like that out of the equation, and any horse is able to do dressage, but it's to what level?
Exactly.
Right? And so that's the thing. And the same thing, I would say almost with eventing. I mean, there are such low levels available now that almost any horse, a gaited horse, whatever, can go and jump around the baby levels of it. It's fine. It's just how far is the horse going to go?
Mm-hmm. Mike, you were going to say something?
Yeah. With the dressage now, I've heard of situations where some shows put on a gated dressage class, which I found a little interesting, but it's getting somebody out there. It's a new level of training.
That's fine, yeah.
Exposing the horse to something a little bit different.
And Western dressage is a thing now,
dressage.
Yeah, I'm fine with
it is all a legitimate thing. If that's the direction somebody feels like they go, and their horse will adapt to it, it's great.
I saw my first Western dressage at the last show I went to with my wife, and the person was in, like, they had the horn on the front, a cowboy hat. They had all the tassels on the jacket and all the tassels and stuff. I thought the person came off like a motorcycle bike club when they got on the. I go, what is that? And she's like, oh, that's a Western dressage. I go, get out of here.
You don't wear tassels.
Fine, yeah.
Only in the bedroom, Mike.
Oh God.
Okay.
Lord. But yeah, I think all that is great. I think that's all fine. But dressage just means training, right? That's what that means.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, I might be able to see how far a horse could go. Like, I can tell you that with Moonster, the first time I jumped that horse around, I said, this is an advanced horse.
Even if dressage is not your goal, it can help.
Yeah, exactly, too. I mean, even if you're going to go into the hunters or whatever, anything, it's just truly connecting the horse to its body, right?
Or excuse me, an English trainer I worked with that was over here for a time, that they think that they did dressage so the horse could jump. They jumped so the horse could do dressage.
Yeah. I think I get that. I really do.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really important. It's our responsibility as trainers, whether we're producing a horse from the ground up or retraining it from the track, or whether it's been sent to us by a client meant to go into some discipline. It's just to figure out what that horse genuinely wants to do, because I don't believe it's ethical to try and force a horse to do something that they really just don't want to do. Like, sure, like you said, there might be physical limitations, but I think it's where their heart is.
Well, I think that's
more than anything.
I worked with a fellow back like out of high school, early 20s, that we were starting horses.
Yeah.
And Benny's thing was, well, over pushing them, you made a horse, yes, you could get them to do things, but you wanted a horse to want to do it.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. I'm not interested in galloping down to an advanced level cross country fence trying to talk the horse into it.
Right.
Right. I want them to be pulling me to that fence.
They're ready, they take over, they're ready to go, they go into autopilot, we're getting it done.
Yeah, we called it autopilot.
Autopilot, yes.
With pirate, it was autopilot, right? But I don't think it's right. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's fair to try and talk a horse into really doing anything that they don't want to do, but especially when it comes to galloping down to a big solid fence.
Well, I had another situation talking about the autopilot thing. A girl had taken on an event horse, and I want to say this was a prelim horse trying to off of memory. She wanted to get into eventing. She really hadn't been there. And they just done some dressage, and they set up a little bit of a makeshift cross-country course. And they came galloping around. I happened to be at the farm that day, and he locked in on his jump, and he went for it, and then went to the next one, and went for the next one. He's like, oh, my God, what was he doing? It's like his job.
His job, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Mike.
He kind of took off faster than she was expecting, but it was, it was a prelim horse or whatever he was.
So one of my horses did that to a younger student of mine. My old intermediate horse that I said, I just said, okay, this horse needs to either jump really, really low level or just do dressage. Ended up being really successful in the dressage, won the thoroughbred championships at second and third level,
Right.
Really, really nice horse. But he's still fine to jump little fences. He loves that. That's
Sure.
fine. You just didn't need to be an upper level horse. So I had one of my students take him cross country schooling, and bless him, he just went back into his mode of like, this is what I do. And
This
he
is how I
locked
do
in
it.
and he's galloping around, and she's kind of lost her steering a little bit. So she's kind of running, she's trying to run kind of by some fences, but he's locking on and angling them and jumping them because like, this is my job. And poor kid's hanging on for
He's
dear
not
life.
missing it. He's doing his
He's
job.
like, oh, I know what to do,
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, gather our thoughts,
We have thoughts?
and come back, and we're going to dive into listening to your horse. And there's so many jokes I have there, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk about listening to your horse and find out more about Kelsey Briggs. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. We'll be right back.
Oh, man. So we skipped how horses should be kept, and we went right into listening to your horse. So I promise I'll circle back around to how to maintain your event horses. I promise.
Too late. I'm past it. I don't want to hear it anymore.
He's done with it.
I jumped ahead and started talking about listening to him. I got talking about villain, and then there we go.
Well, we wing it anyway.
All right.
Yeah. I had a feeling this would happen.
You ready, Mike?
I am ready.
You ready, Kelsey?
Yes, thank
Here we
you.
go.
Kelsey's always ready.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can see the whole entire podcast over on the YouTube channel in its entirety. The audio portion, we cut it down. We take out we get all the meats and potatoes out of there, all the info that you need over on the audio portion. But if you want to see the whole entire full-length podcast, you can find that over on YouTube. Search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine, and you can see all the shenanigans and stuff that goes on during the breaks and all the conversations that we have that don't make it on the air. So go over there right now. Make sure you give Mike Stine a subscribe over there as well. Over to my far hand side, my very own YouTuber is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you?
I'm doing well, and joining us here in the studio is Kelsey Briggs, a 4-star, 3-day event writer and trainer, joining us here in the studio again, and we appreciate her coming in. She's got a lot of information.
Are you trying to tell me I talk too much?
No, what I'm saying is you have a lot of information, is what I'm saying. Thank you very much for joining us again. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having
driving
me.
all the way from Florida up here to join the show.
No.
No, I'm
just
kidding.
old Waxhaw girl over here. Don't
There
worry.
you go. So we were talking about listening to your horses, and you kind of skipped over as far as maintaining the horses and stuff. So do you want to
Yeah, I got a little sidetracked.
circle
like
back
I do.
around and get that and
Yeah.
pick that off the table there that we left it on?
Yeah, well, I think it still ties back into really listening to your horse, because at the end of the day, I think we get so focused on what it is that we want to do with them. And we have these goals and these competitions we want to do, and we want to bubble wrap them, right? Everybody wants them to, make sure they're not going to get hurt, which I understand. Nobody wants their horse to get hurt. But the trouble comes in when we start thinking, as humans, and stop thinking of them as horses. And so we think, well, we need to just put them in this stall or in this private paddock, and they can't really get hurt in there, right? Like, they're in the stall for 12 hours a day or whatever.
They can.
Well,
They do.
That's what I'm saying. We're not even right in thinking this, but it's like we're thinking we're going to keep them safe. And so they go out in a small paddock privately, and they're in a stall, and then they're just not living like a horse. And I think at the end of the day, yes, these are athletes, and we need to give them everything they need as athletes, which means the right nutrition and the right vet care and all kind of body work and anything like that they need done. Treat them as athletes in that way.
Right.
But don't treat them like a machine, like your car that you go put in a garage.
Right.
Right. You still have to treat them like the animal that they are. And what a horse actually wants to do is go live in a field with its friends most of the time. Like, sure, there are times to bring them into a stall. I'm not saying that those times don't exist, but in general, these horses want to be out. Like, my horses live out 24/7. It has to be really, really rotten weather for them to come in. And that's by their choice.
And you have a barn.
Yeah, I have a barn, but these horses 9 times out of 10 will choose to be out of that barn. Mm-hmm. And even when Pirate was running 4 stars, he was out in a big field with his friends. Munster in the lead up to this 2-star, and I believe he has 4 stars, maybe even a 5-star in his future one day. I'm just going to speak that into existence. He will continue to live out in a field with his friends. And to me, that is where I think people kind of lose the plot, is where they start thinking, I just have to think about myself and what I want, and not think about what this horse wants. So this horse it's your partner, it's your teammate. And we're both doing a lot of work, but I would argue that they're doing a lot more of it. I mean, they're having to gallop down and jump these fences. The least we can do is make them happy. I feel like Pirate and I always had that agreement. Like, I will keep you happy if you keep me safe. And God knows he always did. He always has.
I know. I mean, I'm thinking about
Scratch his ears.
I'm thinking about when someone goes out and purchases a horse. There's so much research and stuff that's done prior to buying a horse, outside of the off the track thoroughbreds. My wife, we've gone through in our relationship, knowing each other, we've gone through, I think, 4 different horses. When I say gone through 4 different horses, we've had a horse, we've brought it up to a certain level. We knew that level was going to be, X, and then, and my wife's training was going to be X. And then, so we've had to basically make sure that we're buying the right horse to fit and do everything. We're not going to buy I hate to say, this sounds real shallow. I'm not going to buy a $600 horse to make it achieve a 4-star eventing or something, or that type matter. I don't know if that makes any, I know.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would. I mean, that's the thing. That's where I'm so blessed, because Pirate, like I said, I was a teenager. He was $600, has made every dream I have had come true.
Well, Travis, with the
So
money you
it
got,
can be
that
done.
shouldn't be a problem. Come on.
I didn't have any, and I still don't. I didn't as a kid, and I don't have it now.
But I guess
But he look at all the money, the podcast he does, and the money he
Look
makes
at this
off of it.
podcast studio. I mean,
There shouldn't be a problem with just it's $500,000.
Please. That's enough. No, but what I'm saying is, people need to buy horses based on their skill level. You don't want to buy a horse.
Absolutely.
That's where I was kind of going with that.
yeah. So if you aren't able to produce the horse through the levels yourself and you have goals, have someone help you find a horse that's suitable for you, right? Talk to your trainers. Hey, help me find a horse, right? Don't go out and get some youngster to produce if you're not in a position to be able to do that, right? You're either going to pay more on the front end of a horse that's already got the training, or you're going to pay your trainer to bring it up for you, which is fine. I think that's a fine way to do it. Like if you find a young horse that you really like and you want your trainer to go and do that, like that's great. That's fine. But just know that you're going to spend the money at some point on there. Unless, like I said, I was a gritty teenager.
You can pay us now or you can pay us later.
Well, somebody, you're going to, a really nice horse, you should plan to spend money on it. I think, yes, I have a great story in what I've, the horses I've gotten. It's been amazing, but that's not everyone's story. And that's okay too. You just have to understand that buying a horse and trying to force it to do what you want is not going to work, and it's not fair. It's not ethical. It's not safe. It's just not going to work.
And like I said back to my wife and I, and this is I'm the simpleton of the show. The only thing I get is from Mike and from my wife. So this is just my knowledge being the husband, what they call it, horse daddy, horse daddy. And you talk about people that are, I've seen people in barns, several different barns that we've, been at in our careers or her career as far as riding horses, where I've seen riders come off and come in the barn and just be so upset because they're not getting there quick enough because of their horse, because of
sometimes it's not because of the horse, but they're not going to blame themselves.
Yes, I know. It's 50-50. I mean, it goes both ways.
And I've had people import horses and pay the price of a house, and by the time it's done, not suited for what they needed.
I'm just going to sit and argue that it's never the horse's fault.
Right.
Because it is our responsibility.
As our friend Mark Hossman likes to say, it's another horse with a human problem.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I like to start them from babies myself, because I bring on less human problems without it. But no, it is our responsibility to figure out what this horse needs to do and what it needs from us. How lucky are we that we get to crawl on these horses' backs and gallop down to a fence at all, or do dressage or whatever it is you're doing.
It's amazing that they will let us.
It is amazing that they let us. We should feel so honored that these animals have chosen to trust us that way. So it is not ever, in my opinion, the horse's fault. Now, if the horse isn't suited to do what you want to do and your goals are more important to you than the relationship you have with that horse, okay, then find the right job for that horse.
And I can go down to the ribbon store and buy you a bunch of ribbons if it makes you feel good.
I am all over my house. I'm like, I don't need any more.
That's right.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, to me, it is about the relationship.
It's about the connection with the horse.
With my horse. Right. I am so lucky that.
And anybody that knows you knows that's yeah,
it's easy to say that, but then get put in the position, and it's different. But I've had plenty of horses come to me through the years that weren't going to work out for the upper levels. I'm not really good about selling them. I end up keeping them. That's why I heard. I was going to say I own 4 horses, and I'm not eventing 4 horses. I found what Langhorne likes to do and what Villain likes to do, and I've found a way to make it work to keep them.
But you got to respect the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love them and I respect them, and I want to keep these horses in my barn and keep them safe, because once you sell them, you don't have a say. And because I am a trainer and a coach, I'm able to lease these horses out to students and teach on them, and I can afford to keep these horses that aren't going to work out for me as upper level eventers. And then obviously Pirate and Moon have, and I'm very, very lucky that these horses wanted to do that. But honestly, I just love whatever adventure I'm on with Pirate,
right?
Truly. And I'm
go
just
play
lucky
in the lake
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that he was able to compete internationally for me and do all these things. And it's like I said before, Pirate has made every dream I've ever had come true. Moonster is keeping that dream alive, because I thought I might end up being a bit of a one-hit wonder. I'm so, so lucky that I have these horses. And, it's always a learning process. I am able to bring them up.
And without them, where would you be?
I don't even want to think. I can't imagine it. Truly. My entire adult life, I've had Pirate and this goal. And, so I think that.
Would you like fries with that?
I know. And I knew what I wanted to do when I was a little bitty. We talked about this last time. I knew what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm just so lucky that this has been able to happen without having much money. I mean, not really
You're
any at all.
living the dream.
Yeah, and I truly am. And
Some days it's a bad dream, but you live in the dream.
I will never
It's a
lose
dream
sight of-
nonetheless.
Yeah, I will never lose sight of how lucky I am.
All right, we're going to take one quick little break and let you get back to playing with your ponies. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Coffee's kicking in now.
And look, we're done.
Oh, man.
This is the part of the show where we, what did we learn?
What did we learn?
I'll give Kelsey a recap on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did we learn is for me to talk or for y'all to talk?
No,
You're gonna talk.
I'm going to go like a
gonna
round
give
table.
You're going to
Okay.
hit the highlights on each thing.
Okay,
Holding
I
you
was like,
and all that stuff. Careful about bumping the table, Mike. You're bumping cameras.
I quit.
Getting in trouble.
Well, this camera is not shock sensitive, so she's over there vibrating.
Oh, no.
Well, she kind of, if you know her, she vibrates most of the time anyway.
It's my personality.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you'd like this podcast to perform out at your clinic, your location, your barn, your stable, your event, if you've got anything going on here in the next couple of months or so, you can sign us up. We'll bring this podcast right to your front doorstep. The way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says clinics. Fill that out, and you can have Mike Stine come out there, and he's got a whole bunch of different models, different specimens of horses, some hoofs, frozen hoofs, dry frozen hoofs, bones, skeletons.
Freeze-dried.
Yep, freeze-dried. That's what I meant.
Yep.
And all that stuff. And it's great for elementary school kids or kids, of a certain age. They want to touch bones and all that cool stuff. So you can have Mike Stine come out there as well to your school or location, and he can talk about horses and the way they all connect. And over to my far hand side, my very own paleontologist is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And joining us here in the studio, jump on over to YouTube. You can see her in rare form right here during the breaks, is Kelsey Briggs, a 4-star 3-day event writer and trainer. Thank you very much again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Mike, what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
First of all, producing young horses from the start as babies, as well as retraining OTTBs. Kelsey?
Mostly just get them out of the arena and expose them to as much as you can. Get them out on the hills, get them in the field, get them in the woods, take them fox hunting, take them splashing in the creek, but expose them to as much as you can so you can try to figure out what it is they want to do with their lives.
Mike?
Yeah, I think getting them out on the uneven terrain and let them learn to manage their bodies
Definitely
is key, no matter what the discipline is.
Yeah. They have to learn how to use their bodies. Absolutely.
And also how horses should be kept from the upper level competitors to trail horses. Kelsey?
I feel very strongly that we still have to treat them as horses. Again, like they're top athletes, right? Give them everything they need and, nutrition, vet care, all of that. But let them be horses. Put yourself in the mind of the horse. It doesn't want to stand in a stall all day, every day. It doesn't want to be alone in a small paddock all day. It needs a big field and friends, and treat them with that level of respect. If they're going to give you so much, we're going to ask so much of them. The least we can do is try to keep them happy, and they will give you so much in return.
Mike?
Yeah, you let them be a horse.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
as far as soundness
Yeah.
and all that, really the horse they're living out are easier to keep going. They don't have legs blowing up in the middle of the night.
I mean,
all that sort of
it's
deal.
not just their mind. It's also physically. Horses are designed to be out moving around.
And sure, they're
right?
going to nip at each other or whatever because
Yeah,
they're horses and that's what they do.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. Stuff happens to them in the field, but I hate to say it, but I'd rather them get hurt doing something themselves than because I kept them bubble wrapped in a stall and then I took them out competing and their body wasn't really conditioned to do it.
If they're too bubble wrapped on mine, there's more tendon and ligament
Exactly. There's
injuries.
only so much we can do with the riding and training aspect of it. They have to get out and move around themselves. That's what keeps them healthy. Their gut health is better.
The body's designed to move.
They are not designed to stand around.
And on that same note, listening to your horses, even if it means adjusting your goals or finding a new job for you or them.
Yeah. So, to me, I'm always just thrilled with whatever grand adventure I'm on with my horse. If I love my horse, they could decide that they wanted to run barrels and I'd buy a Western saddle. I mean, so for me, it is different. I truly just love my horses, and I
Right.
want to go on an adventure with them. Even when Pirate and I were doing all the big upper level stuff, now with Moonster, the same thing. I'm on an adventure with my horse, and that's the icing on the cake, is that I get to go jump around these cross country courses. But you have to make sure your horse is truly a willing partner in that. And if that's not what they want to do, don't try to force that on them. If your horse, yeah, you might need to school your dressage a little bit more because that's your weak phase, but that doesn't mean that they live all winter in the arena doing dressage every single day and never getting out to have fun, right? Like you have to, Pirates,
and I don't
it.
think that's good for a horse if that's their only job either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just, you can work through things. Pirate and I just kind of like did our dressage out in the field, so he wasn't bored and miserable with it, So there's ways to adjust it. You don't have to give up on a horse just because it, doesn't love every aspect of what you're asking them to do. It's like a kid in school might have subjects they like more than others, right? But listen to your horse, and if this isn't what they want to do anymore, figure out what they want to do. Offer them that respect, right? And if you can keep them anyway and go down that route with them, then great, go have fun with your horse. If not, find them the perfect home, or somebody to lease them that will do what they want to do, and maybe find yourself something more suitable if you don't have the luxury of being able to have more than one horse.
All right, Kelsey, where can our listeners find you, and how can they contact you or reach out to get information from you?
Well, you can call me or you can email me. I don't know if I give out my phone number.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
sure, if you want to.
Yeah. So 704-975-5247 is my phone number. It's my personal number. So don't text me late at night. I will text you back at 4 a.m. So, but I also, Instagram is Kelsey Briggs Eventing. There are as many pictures of my cats as of my horses on there because it's my personal page. But
It's crazy cat lady.
yeah, I am for sure. But I also,
you have a Facebook page or anything?
I do, yeah. I'm Kelsey Briggs on there. I technically have a business page that's Kelsey Briggs Eventing. I don't think I've updated that in years, but you can still message me through there, and maybe I will.
You have contact, like your email address is up there as well?
It should be, yeah. And so klbriggseventing@hotmail.com or kelseylbriggs@gmail.com. So any of those ways is fine.
Well, Kelsey, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us this week.
For coming back.
Thank you.
This week on Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. On behalf of Mike Stine over there.
Have a good day. Enjoy your ponies. And, it took me a long time figuring out what Sally's suited for, my Mustang. Oh. It really did. And he had a hard time getting it through to me. And I was really slowing up. He likes eating.
Some of them just want that.
And we'd like to thank Kelsey Briggs for joining us again this week on Equine Dynamics. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.
My name is Travis, saying see you next week.
Dream of someone.
Well, there you go.
All right. Was that okay, guys?
Thank you. You were perfect.
Very good. Thank
night,
you.
Ned.
I tried to be a little
Good
less
night, Ned.
jittery than last
Good
time.
night, Ned.
No,
You were
we
fine.
don't care.
You're fine.
Good. You're good. The energy's good when it comes out over the airwaves.
Oh, good. I appreciate it, guys. All right.